children of all ages, we are back. Thank you so very much. This is going to be just a quick live stream this morning. I want to talk about that whole situation with the Supreme Court deciding that Donald Trump's name can be on the ballot, because it seemed like there's some misunderstandings about it and so on and so forth. Kind of depends on where you fall politically. Just seems to be how you interpret the Supreme Court's decision. And so I wanted to pull that up, and I had the great brother Nate, the lawyer, explain it yesterday, and he made it so plain that it helped me out a lot. So I figured I would go over it today, talk about it, give you a chance to see what he was talking about and see if it helped you out as well. The link will be down in the description. So welcome to all 12,000 of you all that have subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot that you all have done that. Your time, your effort, and your attention mean a lot to me. So I'm glad that you have found value in what I'm doing, and I pray that I'll continue to do that. Let me know different ways and how I can continue to add value to this experience. So you can always do that by hitting me up in email, dearwokec@gmail.com. If you're interested in finding out anywhere else, any other socials I'm on, here are all of my other social links. If you wanted to support me on Buy Me a Coffee and help me out there, which is a community that I'm building off of YouTube and another way of staying in contact. If you would like to support me there, feel free to do so. I appreciate it either way. Thank you so much. What's going on, Q? Good to see you. It was voting day. It's voting day. What are y'all voting on? What day? What election do y'all have going on? It's got to be some election, some special election. I figured as much. Good to see you, Susie. Always good to see Susie. And Shara's in the house as well. And we got Mary Davis there as well. Why are there no remarks? No remarks on what? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, it's too early. I was trying to get it in. I had some work to do at the studio today. And so I said, let me do this live stream early and capitalize on the conversation yesterday. How about that? How about yesterday? I think it's fair to say that March 2024 is coming in like a lion. I think that's fair to say. We had Trump being reinstated onto all ballots, and we also had this big brouhaha as relates to the Fani Willis case here in Atlanta. This is going to be bananas. I can only imagine how the rest of the month is going to go. What are we on, day 5? Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. I mean, and we had the closing statements on Friday. So we had the closing statements. We had the Trump being reinstated on yesterday. And then, of course, the special witness that came up and materialized here in Cobb County. Man, this story just keeps getting better. But I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for stopping by on today. Good to see you, Lacey. Always good to see you. I see you on a couple of channels. I've seen you a couple places. Good to see you here nonetheless. Shara says she's watching from her bed. Hey, that's good. That's what, if you need to do it, that's what you need to do. But I want to thank you again before we jump in too far. I want to thank you again for not only watching the videos and liking and sharing and commenting and all that kind of good jazz, but overall your support and encouragement for this channel and other Christian content creators has just been phenomenal. So thank each and every one of you, even if you don't like the video, if you thumbs it down, thank you for that nonetheless. I appreciate you taking the time and giving me a little bit of your time and attention and letting me know what you think about it. So thank you very much. All right, so let's talk about, well, thank you, Lacey. I appreciate it. I'm happy with what I have because trust me, I don't deserve any of it. I do want to bring in, I'm going to talk about Nate the lawyer. And if you're not familiar with him, I'll leave a link to his channel.
Yeah, breaking news in a 9-0 unanimous.
I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description. And Nate the lawyer is, I think you could figure it out. He's a lawyer and his name is Nate. And he does a fantastic job of breaking down cases, whether it be the P. Diddy case or some other kind of major trial. And of course, what's been going on with Fani Willis and this Atlanta trial, the RICO trial of former President Donald Trump. He's just done a great job. If you ever just want a layman's term explanation, I've heard him break down very complex legal terms. I'm like, yo, I understand that. So if you ever need just like a good layman's understanding, Nate the lawyer is going to do a great job. And he's actually really entertaining. So shout out to Nate, great content creator. He seemed like a fantastic lawyer. Definitely somebody you would want to listen to if you want to understand these kinds of cases. So yesterday, he did a video explaining why it is that the Supreme Court reinstated Donald Trump on the 2024 election. And of course, we all heard that as a 9-1 decision. It was pretty unanimous. But he explained it really well, and I think it deserves a little bit of time. So let's give him a little bit of time to do that and kind of spread it out. And then at the end, I do want to talk about something that I talked about on a previous episode, which is how if you don't fit a certain narrative, you no longer are you're no longer at the cool kids table because you don't agree with all the cool kids. And I'm going to pull up some Atlantic articles, because their articles are atrocious. And it just goes to show, like, just because somebody doesn't fit your narrative, you now can use all types of pejoratives. You can call them names that you would never call them under any other circumstances. So we're going to look at some of the things that the Atlantic had said about this. And let me pull it up real quick. I got it. All right, let's go have some fun. Let's go. Nate, what you got to say, brother?
This decision, the Supreme Court has said former President Trump can be on all state ballots for president. Let's talk about it. So, former President Trump has been reinstated to all of the ballots that he's been kicked off of for the 2024 presidential election. But first, how do we get here? Initially, the state of Colorado kicked Trump off the ballot because they claim that he had incited and took part in an insurrection on January 6, 2021. Here is the news report covering it.
We've got some breaking news right now. The Colorado Supreme Court, get this, has just ruled on a challenge to Donald Trump's appearance on the state's 2024 ballot. I want to go straight to CNN's Paula Reed. Paula, what does this ruling say?
Well, this is a stunning ruling from the Colorado Supreme Court saying that Trump should not appear on the ballot in 2024. Now, this is surprising in part because they are reversing a lower court that found while Trump did engage in an insurrection on January 6, that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment did not apply to presidents, and therefore he should not be kept off the ballot.
Now, Colorado put their ruling on hold until the Supreme Court weighed in on whether it was even legal for them to do that. But while that case was pending, some other states also took liberty to kick Trump off the ballot, like Maine.
Breaking news tonight out of Maine, where a move by the Secretary of State has made Maine the first state to officially remove Donald Trump from the ballot on 14th Amendment grounds. In a ruling just moments ago, Secretary of State Sheena Bellows writes, quote, specifically, I find that the declaration on his consent form is false because he is not qualified to hold office of the president under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Bellows added, I conclude that the record establishes that Mr. Trump, over the course of several months and culminating on January 6, 2021, used a false narrative of election fraud to inflame his supporters and direct them to the Capitol to prevent certification of the 2020 election and the peaceful transfer of power.
And then most recent, the state of Illinois also declared Trump ineligible to run for president or be on their presidential ballots for the upcoming election.
Wow. All right, more breaking news. An Illinois judge has just ruled that Donald Trump should be kicked off the ballot in the state. The judge there in Illinois writing that Trump is not eligible to be on the ballot because of his actions on January 6th. That makes Illinois the third state, along with Colorado and Maine, to use the 14th Amendment's insurrection ban to remove Trump from the ballot.
Now, all of this legal reasoning and understanding came from the United States Constitution's 14th Amendment that simply states if you rebelled against the United States, or as it says here, engage in insurrection or rebellion against the United States, you can't hold public office. But now the question for the Supreme Court was, who gets to decide who engaged in an insurrection? Who gets to decide who engaged in the rebellion? Is it each individual state and with their own standards? Or do we have a national policy from Congress or from some federal agency that says, okay, this is what an insurrection or rebellion is that would make someone ineligible? So now, if you're an advocate of states' rights, then you would say, well, hey, each state should decide who's on their ballots. And that's what the states of Colorado and Illinois and even Maine said, right? This is just like abortion. Like how each state gets to determine their abortion rights, then each state should be able to determine who's on their ballot. Now, Trump team counted and said this is more like the freedom of religion, where you have a uniform basic policy across the country. The Supreme Court says this is what the policy is. Now, that's the floor, and all the other states have to follow what the Supreme Court lays out because it's federal law and the federal policy and the federal Constitution. And that is what the Supreme Court essentially said in this case. Now, let me take you back to the 14th Amendment. It has 5 sections in it, section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, obviously, we're focusing on section 3 because that's the one that the states have said allows them to kick Trump off the ballot. But the Supreme Court said you can't look at section 3 in isolation. You have to look at it in the context of the whole amendment because the 14th Amendment has 5 sections. So section 3 does allow people to be disqualified, but who is allowed to enforce this section? Is the state of Colorado, is the state of Illinois, or is the state of Maine? Can they each individually enforce this against candidates in that state? And the Supreme Court says no, because if you look at the text of the amendment itself, it tells you who can enforce it. The Congress shall have power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions in this article. So it's clear that the state of Colorado doesn't have the authority to pass legislation to enforce the 14th Amendment. That's Congress's job. And if you have every state start passing individual laws to enforce this, then you can have a patchwork of different laws and stuff that wouldn't be uniform.
Right.
And it would essentially be unconstitutional because the only authority given to enforce this constitutional provision is to Congress. Let's go to the ruling. So the bottom.
Okay, so I think that made it pretty clear, and I think Nate did a great job of kind of breaking it down, that the federal government determines who is ineligible and who is. And please keep in mind, Trump hasn't been found guilty of said insurrection. That's actually what the whole Fani Willis argument is. Like, he actually hasn't been found guilty of it. We can say he's guilty in the court of popular opinion, but that's not a constitutional entity. So even in that, he still is innocent. And I'm kind of wondering why we have to prove to Americans that, hey, somebody's innocent until proven guilty. Why do you want it to be other way around? Why do you want somebody to be guilty until proven innocent? That would be crazy. And wow, I mean, it's pretty outlandish. So whatever you think about the man, whatever you think that happened on January 6th, that's beside the point. The man is innocent at the current moment because he hasn't been found guilty. How do you make him guilty? Like, where's the evidence? I mean, that's what we are arguing about. So that's part of our system. And so you can't just say, hey, we don't like what you did, and therefore we consider that an insurrection. Therefore, you can no longer be a candidate. I could see that being played out in a lot of different ways, going really wrong, because the term insurrection got real loose and free back on January 6th. I could see that going really left and being used as a bludgeon tool later on in the future if this was not stopped. But let's let Nate finish.
Page 12 for the ruling. For the reasons given that I just gave you, responsibility for enforcing Section 3 against federal office holders and candidates rests with Congress and not the states. The judgment of the Colorado Supreme Court therefore cannot stand. All 9 members of the court agree with that result. Now, it's important here to understand what the court ruled and what the court did not rule. The court didn't rule that Trump committed an insurrection or that he did not commit an insurrection. It says that's not their decision. That's for Congress to decide what an insurrection is, how to enforce the 14th Amendment. That's all Congress. So in doing so, the court still left open if January 6th was an insurrection or not. Now, obviously, it all depends on what political side of the aisle you fall from. And, you have some states saying it is and some states saying it's not. But ultimately, it's Congress's job. And the court left that open. Now, the court, knowing how politically crazy this topic is, spoke to that piece of it.
And I think this is really, and take a second to listen to this, what Amy Coney Barrett said. It was really insightful. So let's go.
Justice Amy Coney Barrett, who is writing particularly to give her opinion. She's writing a small 2-paragraph concurrence to give her opinion. But I think she sums it up best when she says this. The court has settled a politically charged issue in the volatile season of a presidential election, particularly in this circumstance. Writings on the court should turn the national temperature down, not up. For present purposes, our differences are far less important than our unanimity. All 9 justices agree on the outcome of this case. That is the message Americans should take home. Okay, so let me just give you the bottom line. The court is saying, hey, Trump can be kicked off the ballot, but it has to be through an act of Congress and not each individual state. Correct. So when the states kicked him off the ballot, they actually violated the federal Constitution. Now, if Congress chooses to interpret the term insurrection and pass legislation to enforce it by kicking certain people off the ballot, Congress has the ability to do that. But since Congress hasn't done that, it's not up to each individual state to take that burden on for themselves. So this was my review of the Trump ballot case. Link is in the description to the full case. And if you like what you heard, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Thanks, Nate. I just thought that was really informative, and I wanted to help, just in case, give you another tool if you're going to be having a discussion with some friends or coworkers, whatever. I want to make sure you at least had another way to communicate this with them and share it with them. Let them know, like, hey, this is why this was not a overreach. And please understand, it was a 9-0. So that means everybody on the Supreme Court agreed to some degree, shape, or form that should be the interpretation of the law. And not just, hey, we're just going to kick somebody off because we don't like them. We're going to kick somebody off because today is Tuesday. And I'm sorry, we can't do that. That's not the way that we go about it. So good to see you, Brother Alton. Grace and peace, friend. Good to see you. I'll go through and check out some of the comments. And thank you for the super chat. I saw it a moment ago. Thank you so much. Lacey, I appreciate you so much for the super chat. Thank you very much. And so my intent was just to show you, like, hey, we can help people understand this if they want to understand it, of course, and have a good, viable conversation, discuss it with them, and move it forward. Because I agree with Amy Coney Barrett. Like, we do need to focus on the things that bring us together, whether we're left-leaning or right-leaning. I do think there are certain things that we can still work toward bringing us together, even if we have some serious disagreements. And then we can parse through the disagreements as well. But at the end of the day, I think there's more that we can work on rather than just what separates us and brings us apart. So that was that. Let's go real quick. I see, because I do want to bring up, Patty H is in the building. Good to see you. JT2000. Good to see you. Morning to you. Tina's in the building. Grace and peace. Everyone getting ready to go vote. Wait, what were y'all voting for, Q? What are y'all voting for? I think it's some kind of special election in Alabama. We don't have any special elections. I hope not here. Thank you so much, Susie. Here's Nate the Lawyer's YouTube channel. Go check him out. The video is in his one of his earlier videos from yesterday. All right, I see a couple conversations about politics. We're talking about who we're running for. I like that. All right, let's see who we're voting for, rather. I think we got everybody. Appreciate y'all. Now, another fun topic was yesterday was a whole discussion about this new information that popped up toward the end of the day yesterday about a possible another witness discussing what they heard as relates to Nathan Bradley and Nathan Wade, Terrence Bradley, and their attorney. I had to say, yesterday I didn't understand fully what was going on, so I didn't talk a whole lot about it. However, I did a little bit of research, and found another good description of it. And I wasn't able to clip everything out of that description that I wanted to, because it was the lead attorney was explaining it. And he made some great points. And one of the points that I think most of us have made is that these people are putting their, in the whole Fani Willis case, there's a whole bunch of lawyers. Everybody knows there's tons of lawyers, right? And these people are putting their law licenses, dare I say, their livelihoods on, putting it in the line of fire. They're putting it on the line, so to speak. And in doing that, they're putting themselves. Oh, okay, sorry. They're putting themselves in trouble. So why would somebody who has so much to lose put him or herself into this fray when they could have just stayed quiet? Is kind of the approach that I heard. And I said, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. So the new special witness that we've heard of, I think her last name is Yeager. And she's here in Cobb County. She's a prosecutor here. She's definitely a top tier attorney. And she says, hey, I know that what they're saying is not true. Now, she could have just sat there and just left it alone, said, not my business, not my clown, not my circus, not my clown. She could have said that, but she chose to step in there and go on record. She's going to be going on record saying what she actually heard. So she's putting herself, again, at risk of perjury for doing this. Why? I think it's fair to say that she's probably telling the truth. But we're going to look at very quickly. Got another good summary of this case from Mr. Viva Fry, who's starting to become my new favorite.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, he's starting to become my new fave. I tell you, I like his energy. I like how exciting he is. And again, he's just like a Nate, the lawyer type of guy. He has a very clear understanding, and he makes it clear. Like I leave from there like, I understand that. So thank you again, everybody that stopped through today. Let's see if I missed anybody before we jump into this. All right, let's go. Let's go.
People, the news does just not stop being news. I'm catching up on the day's worth of tweets because I was live earlier today, and in as much as I can multitask, I knew that I was missing some tweets that I saw coming in hot, so to speak. Last week I had on Phil Holloway on the channel on the closing arguments day of the Fani Willis, Nathan Wade motion to disqualify hearings. We talked for a good hour. The man is a Georgia attorney, amazingly insightful, and has a lot of inside track info in this case that he tweets out before a lot of other people. And so we had a great discussion. He gave me some great insights as to where he thinks this might be going. And seems to be some late breaking details in this case. One of the defendants, Schaefer, in this file, has filed a notice, a motion, whatever it's called under Georgia law, notifying the court, Scott McAfee, while he's currently, in theory, deliberating and drafting his decision as to whether or not Fani Willis and Nathan Wade get DQ'd from this file for their improper relationship and for what is becoming patently clear to have been their lying testimony before the court. Schaefer, one of the defendants, says, in the event that the court reopens evidence in the context of the disqualification hearing of Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, they've come across some information that they might want to present to the court, coming from a witness who is also a Cobb County attorney that is prepared to testify to the fact that she heard Terrence Bradley talking on the phone with Fani Willis, who called him sometime in September, said, they're coming after us, don't talk to them, you don't need to talk to them. Now, just reading from the motion, I'm not going to go through the whole motion, but the person at issue is, taking my glasses off, people, don't look at me, Cindy Lee Yeager, an attorney, co-chief deputy district attorney for the Cobb County, Georgia District Attorney's Office. So someone with a reputation, someone who is credible, someone who's prepared to come out and say they overheard a conversation. They were with Terrence Bradley. Terrence Bradley, for those of you who may have forgotten or not know, is Nathan Wade's former friend, former business partner, and former attorney in the context of Nathan Wade's divorce from his now ex-wife, Jocelyn Wade. You will recall Terrence Bradley suddenly got amnesia when asked how he got the information that he relayed to Ashley Merchant for the purposes of her motion as relates to when Fani Willis and Nathan Wade started bumping uglies, knocking boots. And at first, he confirmed a lot of information. It began back in 2019 when one of them was a municipal court judge. Absolutely correct the information in Ashley Merchant's motion. And then when he gets on the stand after his objections on the basis of privilege are dismissed, he developed amnesia.
Right.
What's wild is that the development from last week was that there was a witness who was prepared to testify to the fact that despite Terrence Bradley saying he hadn't seen Nathan Wade in years, a waiter from a restaurant in Georgia left a voicemail with Ashley Merchant saying that he was prepared to testify, or that he found it curious, the testimony, that he served Nathan Wade and Terrence Bradley some 5 weeks ago, which would seem to contradict Terrence Bradley's testimony that he hadn't seen Nathan Wade in a couple of years. It would also seem to confirm my suspicion that Nathan Wade has thoroughly threatened Terrence Bradley with potential criminal charges for the alleged sexual assault that Anna Cross brought up on the last day of the evidentiary hearing.
I do want to bring that up because I noticed that you didn't hear anything about the SA until the end, which makes it does seem like, hey, Terrence, if you don't say anything about this, then we will not say anything about this. Oh, you said something about this, then we'll bring up at the end. We'll just drag you through the mud. That's what it does look like that. It does.
You had a late breaking development last Friday, a waiter leaving a voicemail saying Terrence Bradley lied on the stand when he said he hadn't seen Nathan Wade in 2 years. I served the two of them over lunch together with a third party 5 weeks ago. Now it seems that you got, what was her title again? Cindy Lee Eager, co-chief deputy attorney for Cobb County, coming out and saying, I was with Terrence Bradley when he got a call from Fannie Willis in September 2023. Overheard her saying on the phone, I guess she could hear through the phone, maybe Fannie was screaming her Fannie off, bada bing, bada boom. They're coming for us, don't talk to them. This lawyer, Georgia County lawyer, is prepared to come out and submit this evidence to the court, which would further illustrate that Terrence Bradley lied when he said he had amnesia, and that Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade lied when they said they weren't doing the nasty since at least 2019. Oh, remember Nathan Wade couldn't do anything in 2020-21 because he was going through some procedure. Didn't mention what it was. Fannie Willis came out and said, I'm not going to emasculate a black man, and then proceeded to emasculate a black man by suggesting he couldn't have gotten it up at that time of year anyhow because of the procedure, whatever. Now it's becoming clear all three of them have lied. Under oath, to Scott McAfee, the judge. And this is the international mockery that was raised as the argument in closing arguments. Scott McAfee, you've got to boot these people from the file because they're making a mockery of the court. We are an international laughingstock. They lied. It's obvious they lied. Their defense is unsubstantiated and unsubstantiatable because how do you evidence untraceable cash reimbursements for gifts that you acknowledge you received?
Right.
It's hitting the fan. Me. And above and beyond that, many of you may or may not know that a state investigation has been opened, and Ashley Merchant has been subpoenaed to testify in the context of that state investigation, which was opened in January to investigate the alleged corruption. This is out of CNN.
That's going to be crazy. So there's going to be a corruption hearing tomorrow. That is going to be bananas. That is going to be, this story just does not stop. There's no way for this story to stop. Oh my gosh. I have no idea where it's going to end, but I'm telling you right now, I'm here for all of it. This is crazy.
And by the way, so you know stuff has gotten serious when CNN is needing to write on this to cover it, even though they, whitewash it and gloss it over. Georgia defense attorney subpoenaed to appear before state committee investigating Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis. I said it properly that time. Fannie. Defense attorney Ashley Merchant has been subpoenaed to appear before a Georgia State Senate committee hearing on Wednesday. This Wednesday, the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hearing on Wednesday as it investigates the actions of Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis. Listen to this. Merchant confirmed to CNN that she had been subpoenaed for the hearing, which will be live streamed. You know what else is going to be live streamed? Me reacting to that hearing as it happens. Apparently it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. The subpoena also.
Okay, if you're open, all right. So tomorrow, 9 o'clock in the morning. So same time, same bat channel. I don't know. Maybe we should do it. I can get my work done today. I'm gonna hustle and get my work done today. But maybe we'll go and watch it. Or if we don't watch it here, then make sure you watch Fry tomorrow because I'm sure it's gonna be wild.
Hosted by Phil Holloway, from what I understand. This is wild. The Georgia Legislative Committee formed in January to investigate the Fulton County District Attorney said they plan to issue the subpoenas as they investigate Willis, the Democratic state prosecutor who brought the racketeering case against Donald Trump and his allies for their actions after the 2020 election. Listen to this. This is the most glorious part about this. It might have an impact on the case. Kauser said that the panel already has heard from whistleblowers, but did not elaborate on what information they provided. He said the committee intends to dig into any credible allegations, no matter how long the investigation takes. Hey, dudes, you got all your evidence already out there. You've now got Yurdi testifying under oath. Everyone knew this started in 2019. There were outward signs of this relationship in 2019. You got Terrence Bradley before he developed legal amnesia, confirming he was one of a few people to know when their relationship started, when one of them was a municipal judge. Now you've got Yeager, a Georgia attorney, coming out and apparently, according to this motion, prepared to confirm that she overheard them talking to each other and Fani Willis, arguably, but I would say not arguably, pressuring Terrence Bradley to quickly forget that which he knew. So this is going to go down, and it's going to go down. Oh my goodness, the poo-poo is hitting the fanny, and it just won't stop. Wednesday, I will be live streaming this state investigation where Ashley Merchant has been subpoenaed to testify. It's going to be glorious. Something tells me Ashley is not going to duck out on her subpoena the way Fani Willis tried to duck out on hers. Something tells me that Ashley Merchant is not going to be reluctant to talk to the state, to divulge what she knows, how she knows it, where she got it from.
Right.
And with this additional evidence that is now being offered to be presented in the event that Scott McAfee reopens the investigation, wild. Something tells me, however, that Scott McAfee is not going to reopen the evidence because he already has enough to disqualify Fani and Nathan from this case. But the disqualification, as far as I am predicting right now, is now only the beginning of Fani Willis's and Nathan Wade's problems. They're going to be investigated by the state. They're going to be, sought after by the bar. They're going to face disciplinary hearings, I predict, because this is too egregious. It's too in your face. So they're going to get DQ'd. I think there's going to be some state sanction, ethics sanctions, whatever. The bar of Georgia is going to look after them, look into them, and go after them. And the RICO case is going to dissolve into thin air because it was never any legitimate of a case to begin with. So all in the same day, people, SCOTUS comes down 9-0. Declaring that Trump cannot be removed from the ballot. You got the meltdown over there. The RICO case is evaporating, disintegrating in thin air. The corruption is being revealed in Georgia. The only people guilty of RICO crimes here, Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, and arguably a few others. RICO's dissolving. RICO's going to be destroyed. And I'm predicting it now as well. Leticia James is going to be facing some hot water in New York because there's been some great journalism discovering some creative spending of campaign finances from Leticia James for someone who wants to hold Trump's feet to the fire to an impossible standard, arguably, allegedly, potentially, and entirely probably spending campaign funds improperly, ghost donors, which are very suspicious, and I'm going to have Village Crazy Lady on tomorrow. As at the time of recording this, Village, VILLG Crazy Lady on Twitter, who is the journalist that discovered this. She did the legwork. She discovered this. We're going to put it on blast. She's going to be on live tomorrow. So stay tuned. The poo-poo is going to hit the fanny, and I hear a lot of noise in the other room. Go, like, share, subscribe. Viva Fry on Rumble, Viva Fry on Twitter, vivabarneslaw.locals.com on our locals community, and I will see you all tomorrow, eagerly awaiting. Booyah.
Thanks, Viva. Wow. Okay. This case is going so bad. So I got a question for you. It seems like a lot of the narratives that we've been hearing for the last 4 years as it relates to what's been going on in D.C. seems that, especially about Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, it seems like a lot of that is starting to just evaporate. Why do you think that is? Why do you think it is? The attempt to get him off the ballot evaporated. Here in Georgia, I don't think that case is going to make it. Evaporated. I think there's a case in Florida. The reason I say I think because I haven't heard anything about it. The case in New York, that's sounding really weak and like it's going to evaporate. Why do you think so much effort has been put in for the last 48 months to vilify this man and all of that, only for it to all evaporate and blow up in their faces. What is the biggest deal? Like, what are they worried about? What are they fearing? I don't know. What's the big pushback that they have to make this man so vile, so wicked, that literally everything he's done is somehow or another tainted? Like, what's the big deal? And as I said on Sunday, like, hey, politics, I think is interesting. I think, we should be a part of do our civic duty as Americans to vote and to, if you feel led to run for office, support various candidates and policies and so on and so forth, but not to venerate them to the point that if I can't get my candidate, I'm going to leave the state or leave the country, or if my candidate loses, the world's coming to an end. No, that's not the Christian response. So I think we can always have fun and engage in this. I think it is extremely interesting. And there's so many different complexities, but people, calm down. All right. So I see lots of commentary about Viva Fry's shirt. You guys are amazing. But Caleb says, the left is trying to ruin the country. I mean, I can't disagree with you, because they're never able to pull off another 2020. Ooh, I like that. I see what you did there. I mean, like, for example, I just thought it was interesting. Like, the reason Trump allegedly won in 2016 was because of Russian involvement, but he lost and there wasn't any Russian involvement. I just don't understand that. I don't understand. I would love for somebody to explain it to me. I mean, I'm open to hearing and understanding it, and I try to be as understanding and open-minded as possible. However, I'm like, why is so much of your identity tied into who wins or who runs for president and who wins the presidency? I mean, I think we can all agree that the president does some good things, sure, but at the end of the day, I mean, he isn't ruling your life. I mean, Christ reigns over our lives. So whoever is in place, whoever God puts in place in that position, is only there because God has put him there. So why not? But just skip the middleman and focus on Christ. I mean, really. Oregon out here and it's cold, Patty said. Grace and peace. Socialism doesn't create anything. It only takes a functioning society and breaks it. There we go. They are being paid by the globalist elite. They want to control people of USA, and of the world. Let's go, Spicy Peach. I like that. So many lies. None of it makes sense because none of it is true. 43F and sunny. 43 degrees and sunny here. Oregon is beautiful except for Portland. I don't even know what the weather's like outside. It's gotten a little bit warmer since I came back in. I mean, it's supposed to be rainy today here in Georgia, but it didn't look like it when I left. When I took the girls to school. Yes, unfortunately, just south of Portland in a different county, but they're trying hard to pull us in. Really? Total depravity. Hey, real quick, you know what? That's great. That's a great point. Real quick, everybody, where are you from? Just real quick, drop your city and state where you're from. I am from the great state. I live in the beautiful state of Georgia in the city of Atlanta. Where are you from? I see some Portland. I didn't realize some people out there on the West Coast. Where are you from? Just real quick. I know I got some Texans in the building this morning. That Midwest Texas. There we go. Midland, please forgive me. Midland, Texas. I love it. I love it. Miller, Missouri. I agree with you, Spicy Peach. Trump is standing in the way. Denver, Colorado. Man, for the longest, I wanted to live in Denver. Unincorporated Clackamas County, Oregon. Okay. I see you. Right now, I work in a suburb of LA in Glendale, California. Houston, Texas. Atlanta, born and raised. There we go. That's why I like you, Lacey. That's why I like you. Joshua, Texas. What's Joshua, Texas? I like that. McKinney, Texas. See, I think we'll just turn this into a Texans only live stream. Everybody from Texas. We'll just do a live stream only for Texans. Actually, only West Coast people. All y'all on the other side of the Mississippi. Where are all my East Coast folk at? Where are my East Coast people at, man? What's up with that? We'll do a Texans only live stream tomorrow. But no, that was. Yeah, where are my East Coast folk at, man? They might still be in the bed. My West Coast folk are awake, talking about it's too early, and the East Coast folk are, I don't know what they're doing. We'll have a Texans only live stream. Who is voting today? I think Alabama is. Kiana is working the polls. That does not sound right. That did not sound right at all. Kiana is, they're voting in Alabama. I don't think there was anybody else that mentioned it. But yeah, I just think this whole conversation has been super interesting. I am glad that you all have been enjoying the countless other people that have been discussing this topic as it relates to Fani Willis, what's going on in New York, now Colorado, and then, of course, the Supreme Court as a whole. Man, this is wild. And then later on today, I'm sure there'll be more information about Attorney Yeager coming out. And then, of course, we got Ashley Merchant is taking a stand tomorrow before the Senate committee to discuss what Terrence Bradley told her. And man, this is going to be, and it's going to be live streamed. That is going to be some must-see TV. All right. Voting in California and Texas. Hopefully not in both of those places voting. I mean, just pick one and vote in that one. Let's see. The East Coast is working or voting. Just got done voting, and I know y'all are in Texas. Oregon doesn't vote today. I think we do next month in April. It's Super Tuesday, so there's a lot of states voting. Mail-in voting only still a thing in Oregon. Wow, y'all still doing mail-in voting? Wow. K-Dub says he's voting today. Look, we're going to do a Texans only live stream. I'm going to block it for only Texans. The hearing is live streamed because Fani wanted it. Wait, what'd you say? Because Fani wanted the attention for the Georgia Trump trial. Hey, Trump is super savage. Do you realize he's doing a rally here in Rome, Georgia? Now, granted, that's still outside of the city of Atlanta, but he announced a rally on Saturday here in Georgia. Trump is savage. He clearly don't care. Wait, a guy came to my doorbell. I got to send you the video. Okay. Send it to me. If it's something we need to watch today, we need to inspect it. We will do that here because this is a Texas only live stream. We'll do that. All right. Discernment Files. Have an awesome day. I'm going to be going to work in a few as well. So I appreciate you all nonetheless stopping by. Oh, hold on. I will. Okay. I got send it in Discord. K-Dub. Oh my gosh. What are you sending me? I got it open. I'm ready. I don't know. It's K-Dub. It could be anything. K-Dub gets some of the best conversations. He gets some of the best. I can only imagine what it is. All right. All right, what do we got? Please excuse my typos. My iPad has language of its own. It's all good, Patty. No shame at all. Oh, how wild would that be if Trump was having a rally or in town while that would be, yeah, I think it's fair to say, I think the overall consensus is that these cases did not really have a lot of merit. And I've heard it from a lot of different pundits, a lot of different legal people saying that these cases really didn't have the merit that we think they had. All right, so what did K-Dub send me? All right, I'm downloading it now. Okay, I'm downloading it right now. We're going to find out together, everybody. So this is live. I like that. This is a very good point. It is lawfare. All right, I got it, K-Dub. I'm downloading it right now. I have no idea what I'm downloading, though. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to watch a video from a subscriber. Let's pull it in. All right. Okay, I have no idea what we're about to watch. Make sure the volume's up. Okay, let's go.
Hello there, sir. I'm doing a last-minute get-out-the-vote push for the Jeff Leach campaign. Okay. And I was just curious, have you already voted in this primary?
No, I'm voting
tomorrow.
Tomorrow I think it is.
Tomorrow's the election day. It's the last day. I was just curious, have you already made a decision on a candidate for state house representative?
I have not.
If you don't mind me asking, what would you say is the biggest issue for you in this election cycle for Texas politics?
Abortion.
Abortion?
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, which way?
I'm pro-life.
Okay, understood. Well, I hope you have a good day, sir, and I'm sorry to bother you. I hope you have a good day.
Oh, that wasn't bad. Oh, no. No, that wasn't bad at all, K-Dub. What is the sound like? Is that somebody speaking when he first knocks on the door? I didn't think that was bad. I mean, he seemed respectful. I don't know if he wanted, I don't know who he was campaigning for. Was he campaigning for a particular, okay. Yeah, that wasn't bad. I thought it was going to be crazy, K-Dub. Man, you made it sound like it was wild. That wasn't that bad. No. So he was maybe I missed that part. So he was pro-abortion, and maybe he shut it down when K-Dub said he was pro-life. Maybe that's it. Okay. Oh, okay. The candidate was I got you now. Okay. That makes sense why he shut it down so quick. Okay. Got it. Okay. It was my first time. Hey, we were watching it live and in real time. So I got you. He wasn't gonna waste his time. Not even a little bit. Man, you should have introduced him to Micah. You should say, hey, let me introduce you to my son that we adopted just recently. That would have been interesting. Say, hey, I want to introduce you to my son. Yeah, that would have probably shut the whole thing down. Yeah, he didn't even try. He said, I give up. Never mind. I don't know. He met Micah. He might have been like, look, I'm on the wrong team. Katie said, I'm about to make my doorbell conversations into content. Hey, I'm sure there's entire YouTube channels centered around that. So it wouldn't be the worst thing or the craziest thing that's ever happened. But should have showed him Micah, that's what I'm saying. And said, do you think he should have been aborted? There you go. That would have shut it down. K-Dub, if you don't know, K-Dub and his wonderful wife have been able to adopt a handsome little bundle of joy. I think he's 6-7 months old now. And he's growing like a weed. And yeah, I think that would have been a great conversation. Like, hey, this is my son, Micah. What do you think about him? They probably would have said that. He probably would have said that. Q. But so everybody, thank you so much. Again, I want to say this multiple times over. Thank you for the support of this channel. Thank you for supporting great content creators like K-Dub. Thank you for supporting Rick Caldwell and April Chapman from Standard Truth Podcast and countless others that you all support. It's always fun to interact with you all and to see you in the live chat, to see you in the comments, and so on and so forth, even on other channels. I see some of you all on other channels, on the law channels that we frequent, which is great. But I just want to say again, thank you all so much. Your support means a lot to us. Even just coming by this morning, hanging out on the live stream, looking at a couple videos from Nate and Viva Fry means a ton. It does mean a lot. And to know that you find value in this means a lot to me, means a lot to all the other content creators. So we would just want to say thank you. I'm saying on behalf of all the other content creators, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you all. All right, I am going to make my way over to the studio because I've got to be doing some work to get some videos out to some clients. So I don't plan on going back live again today. However, anything and everything could happen. So don't be surprised you see me pop up because something crazy has happened on this story. And if not, Lord willing, we'll do it again real soon. Oh, you know what? Let me take that back. All of that, just erase everything I just said. I just hired my daughter to be the engineer in the studio. So yesterday she was working and learning how to utilize the system. There's a high probability I'm going to go live today, just for her to try it out. She said she wanted to try it out. She wanted to be the producer while I went live. It might be 10, 15 minutes, but she said she wanted to try it. So we'll see what happens when I pick her from school. That's what she said. So don't be surprised if you see me, and it might be a surprise around that 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time situation today. Possible. But either way, real soon. Man, I got Alton in the building. Grace and peace, my brother. Alton, I need you to hit me up. We got to talk. There'll be some more Fanny drops. I'm sure there'll be more Fanny information soon. So I'm not surprised. I will not be surprised at all, K-Dub. Thank you all, every last one of you. I really do appreciate you stopping by. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. I appreciate you all. Thank you for finding value in what I'm doing, and continue to stop on by. So I appreciate all of y'all. And until next time, everyone, let's do it again real soon. Grace and peace.